Oh, and I almost forgot one more thing about light. Light governs perspective, and as an example, so what you see, your eyes, the perspective is given by the light that you see. And so, if you're underwater, you will get a different perspective. And if you look at something that is underwater, for instance, a fish, you'll get a different perspective. Okay, and there's an easy way to test this. Go and have a look at a fish tank from above, and then have a look at it from the side. And as you travel, your eye travels down, you'll see a point where you can see the angle of the light and the difference in the from the side or from the top in the shape of the creature. The creature has not changed in size, and neither has your perspective size. And so it's just the way that the light, because it's in a square tank, and because the light, the water, it has right angles. Then as you cross across that point where you go from looking from above to looking to below, then you actually see the perspective change. And if you're looking from above at something, then you're well aware that if you put your hand into the water, you can see the bend. You can actually see the light bend, because you know that your hand has gone straight down, and yet to your eyes, you'll see that your hand bends underneath the water, and that's a trick of the light. And so that's how light governs perspective. Okay, and so as I've been doing these talks, you'll be watching a bit of footage from an old game. It's Ratchet and Clank, and this is a moon, and they rendered the whole moon in 3D. There's a point here where I run right around it in a circle, so you can see that it is completely rendered in 3D, and they don't use gravity to render this in any way. The way they did it is that you're basically standing on top of a ball, and when you walk, the ball rolls underneath whichever way you walk. Like an old it's like the gyroscope in a Segway. Okay, so they didn't need to render gravity into this, but that's nothing. Not what I'm particularly pointing out. What I'm pointing out is the perspective, the way the buildings bow, because I've seen people say this is not the way buildings should bow, but yes, it is. Okay, that's the way things would look on a globe. Okay, and if you look at the way the buildings bow away from you perspectively, then if you're flying into a city, that is what you should see. That bowing away, okay, of the way buildings should lean away from you, perspectively, based on where you are. And that goes for everything about the way that this globe is rendered. So if you look at the way as you come over a rise, the ground then opens up into a ball. You can still see that it's a ball away from us. That's what we should be seeing everywhere. Okay. Pretty much even when something's flat on the earth, everything around it should still be bald. Okay, it should still be globular, and that's a perspective we should see everywhere. And that's the point I'm making by having these videos up with this particular game one, is because that's the perspective we should see all the time. And it is a strange perspective when you're looking at it. It doesn't look right. I mean, this is done a long time before GoPros, and you can get the same effect kind of with a GoPro, but if that's the way the world was actually designed, if the world was really a globe and we really could all be standing on top of it at once, so the people on the bottom of the globe are still standing straight up, then there's still the problem of when you raise into the air and you look at buildings, they should bow away from you because of perspectively the way the globe. And again, it comes back to how far above the earth should you be before you see the curvature. Well, because of scale and representation, that's why I've showed this on the screen. You should see it all the time. It shouldn't be a matter of you can't see the curvature until you're this high, because the curvature should be evident no matter. Okay, and that's what's obvious with this. Although the curvature becomes more evident as you jump higher, the curvature is still evident at the very bottom base level. And it wouldn't matter if you were an ant on that environment, you would still understand that you're curling over a curvature. And I urge you to have a look at the way the chasms are done, the way the drops down are done, the way that when you drop down and look up, the way the earth bows around you, because that's what we would see in every single picture. Okay, there would be no pictures of the horizon being flat. Right. Right, and just to finish up, this is my Alibaba and the 40 Quantum Thieves piece, and I'm just going to say, righto, so gravity has a minimal effect on light, fellas, and we're just wondering how much gravity would it take to stop light. And you know, someone's popped up with it's a black hole. That's what we need. This much gravity. This much gravity will stop light from getting out. Righto. What could cause that much gravity? 2015 comes along. We've got it. We've got the 50 million suns. 50 million suns drawn in there. That's what it is. The light 50 million suns is trapped in there, and that is producing the gravity, which is holding light. That's how much light. That's how much gravity it takes to hold light back. And we can see that all over the shop now. There's heaps of black holes. Heaps.